Hi guys, how you doing? And gals?
Tom,
Nice to see you.
How important is it for you guys offensively to start off and get some more guys, especially when you're facing a team like the Chiefs are also great offensively?
Yeah, it's pretty important. I think we've always talked about starting fast, and I think they have a pretty good advantage in the first quarter of these games. They're getting ahead of all these teams and playing from ahead, and that's obviously where we want to play. But it's tough to do, and I think fast starts we've seen this year. When we start fast, the games have ended well, and when we haven't, and you get behind, it makes it really tough. So going against a team that's 5-0, there's really no margin of error, and we're gonna have to do a great job possessing the ball and trying to score as many points as we can.
Tom, how beneficial was the extra time this week?
Good. I think anytime you could take advantage of it, whether it's rest or extra practice, both those are important as we kind of go through the season. So we had 4 preseason games, 5 regular season games. It's a good stretch, and then have a few extra days on the weekend to kind of think about where we're at, and then an extra day of practice this week. So trying to use it all, and it's like I said, it's all for one reason, to try to win a game, and it's going to be a very competitive game.
What are your thoughts on some of the things that Pat Mahomes can do as a quarterback?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of highlights. I haven't necessarily watched. We just haven't had common opponents thus far. But he's obviously got a great skill set and playing really well. Throwing a lot of touchdowns, really distributing the ball, and extending plays, making plays, on the move outside of the pocket. And it's a big test for our defense. Anytime you play a quarterback that can do all those things, it tests your discipline in a lot of areas. We just got to take advantage when we get opportunities to stop them. And we on offense have to do our job when we get opportunities to make the plays that are there, go down and score points when we can. And play this team a bunch. They play really well. They're really well coached. They got good players, very physical, good in all areas. Well coached, tough, hard-nosed team, and it's a tough game. But we're excited for the challenge.
Speaking of Mahomes, you've faced so many young quarterbacks over the years, and I know you don't play against them head to head, but
Yeah.
do you ever look at it as a challenge that there's a new gunslinger coming in here on Sunday night? Do you see that as a personal challenge?
I think our defense probably does more so than me. I look at it as a team that's 5-0, and they're very talented, and they've been playing well all season, and that's how I see it. And it's not going to be, you're not going to win the game in the second quarter. This one's going to go down to the wire. They've got good in all 3 phases. They score a lot of points. They rush the ball. They throw it well. They got a lot of skilled players. They got a lot of playmakers on defense. So I think we're going to be tested in all areas.
So it's never about you against him. I mean, he was 5 years old when he threw his first pass.
I know. There's too many. There's a lot of those guys now. And that's just kind of the reality of being around for a long time. But you're right. I mean, it's great to see a lot of young players, playing really well. And, that's the future of the league. So it's always great to see young players come in and learn from the guys in the past, just like I did when I was young. I had a lot of guys that I looked up to and got to play against Brett Favre and, some really other great players. And
So the matchup thing is there as far as you can.
I think quarterbacks are always paying attention to other quarterbacks. You're just watching how they're moving the ball. There's a lot of different ways to lead your team and move the ball down the field and score points. So if you can learn things from other players, you're always trying to. And, when your offense is hot and, you're scoring a lot of points, I think everyone's trying to learn from what they're doing. They're just executing really well. I think that's what we need to take from it. We got to execute really well.
Last year's game against the Chiefs, is that a part of the film study for you leading up to this game?
Definitely. I think there are definitely, things you can learn from that game, just matchups and so forth. They have the same coaches and similar scheme. So I think studying all the games we played against them, I'm studying all their games last year, this year. I've seen a lot of film this week, so you can learn something from all those games.
What were your memories of the last time you played?
Well, we didn't, in the end, we didn't play our best. We didn't take advantage of some great opportunities we had. We got stopped 4 times in short yardage. They're a tough, hard-nosed team. There's no easy plays there. They are all over routes. They got guys that are, trying to stay with your receivers on every play. So they make it tough, and that's why they're winning.
Did you reach out to Drew Brees at all after you set the record on Monday night?
That's personal. Yes, I did.
You and him are kind of neck and neck in a bunch of stats. Are you guys competitive about any of that stuff?
Not really. mildly competitive guys.
I know you guys have known each other for a long time, so.
Yeah, we played against each other in college, so we beat him my senior year, which was good. And he's had a great career. I mean, I think so highly of him and everything he's accomplished. He's a great player and a great leader. Played on 2 different teams, been so productive, and it's great when you see that happen. I mean, it's a it's a very competitive league, and to be around competing is really a privilege to still be able to do it. I feel that way myself. I'm sure he does too. And they've had some great years, and he's having another one this year.
Over the last couple of weeks, Chris Hogan has had some opportunities, haven't been able to get him the ball. What do you think the reason for that is, just from your perspective?
I'm not sure. In particular, I haven't really studied that as much. We're trying to really get everybody involved. When guys' numbers are called, you're trying to incorporate everyone. So he's a great player. I mean, there's no doubt all those guys, Chris, Phillip, Julian, CP, Josh. I mean, everyone's got to make plays when their number's called. So that's what we're trying to do.
Tom, do you notice Josh Gordon learning from some of the mistakes that have happened in games and translating that on the practice field this week?
Yeah, I think, anytime you come in late to the season, I think there's a big learning curve, and you're just trying to get up to speed as fast as possible. And I think fortunately he's got other guys at his position that he can really lean on. Chris and Julian in particular. Phillip kind of learned late in the season last year, so they got a good group, really well coached group, and we're just trying to work to get better every day.
How much flex do you have to have as a quarterback, because you're used to, the offense has been built around you for 20 years. Someone comes in late who you obviously want to use and utilize a skill set. How much flex as a quarterback do you have to have in sort of incorporating him into what you're doing?
I think it's just you got to try to work at it every day, and you can't just rely on things that have happened in the past and film study. You actually got to go do it on the field. And I think when you're practicing together and you're competing, even in practice, you can learn a lot from each other. So it's just daily work. I mean, there's no shortcuts.
Made about Pat Mahomes' arm strength. This week, when Brian Hoyer was running the scout team, did you see any really impressive throws that you thought, man, wow, from Hoyer?
Hoyer's got a great arm. He always has. He's launched some balls, and he's very accurate the way he throws it deep, especially. And we're working on those things all the time during practice, after practice. But I think Pat's got a great arm. It's hard to really replicate that. It's kind of, you're born with something like that.
Final question.
Tom, your first big night game of your career back down memory lane was against the Rams in 2001. What do you recall from that game, going through, sort of the first time you were playing in prime time?
Yeah, I think, was that Sunday Night Football?
Yes.
And we lost to go to 5-5. Yeah, so they were a good team. They had won the Super Bowl the year before. They had some really good players, and we were competitive. I think that's what I remember. We made it close.
You're like all nervous. It's like just you're playing in prime time for the first time, like the boys is.
I don't remember that long ago, truthfully. But it's probably today. There's so much attention on college guys now, and that they're still playing in front of big crowds in college. Probably recruited a lot in high school, so I think those probably wear off. Truthfully, I mean, there's always a little nerves, a little anxiousness for every game. When you play in prime time, it's always fun. I mean, you know that you're kind of the game, but I think that goes away pretty quick. 1 or 2 plays in, you're into the flow of the game.
Tom, when you're facing an offense and you know it's going to put up some points, you mentioned like last week they have left some plays out there. How do you kind of balance trying to make those plays without trying to force something?
I think that takes discipline, and I think you're trying to really make the plays, because if you don't, or you're giving the ball away, you're not giving yourself a chance to score any points, and they're going to take advantage of that. So especially starting fast, and I think that's been a big point of emphasis. They start fast, and the games where we started fast, it's gone well. The games where we haven't, it hasn't gone well. So playing well early, really being ready to go right from the start is going to be really important. So thank you guys.